Welcome to the Haddonfield Horrors podcast, where we discuss all things horror, from one-off movies to franchises to TV series and even expanded media. I'm Mark,
I'm Tawan.
and today, instead of reviewing a movie, we will be ranking the Evil Dead franchise. We have watched all the movies up to this point, so now it's time to rank them to see from our worst to our best. And there are a total of 6 movies. So, Tawan, what comes in at number 6 for you on your Evil Dead rank?
For me, Army of Darkness. It's got to be the one I like the least, which is crazy because so many people love this franchise because of Army of Darkness and have fond memories of it, and I am
They
definitely
do.
yes. If you ask some
Army of
older people,
Darkness.
if you
That
ask some older
Army of
people,
Darkness is their gateway drug to Evil Dead.
some Mark, Mark, some of these older fans love Army of Darkness.
Are you fucking because Army of
And
Darkness
I
is also my number 6 because
and I don't
I
even
don't
mean it
like
in
this
like
movie.
and I don't even mean it in like ooh, y'all old type of way. It's just like a lot of old people grew up with this franchise and are just, older
Their
than us.
entry
Like
was Army of Darkness.
not
Listen,
saying it was
if
their
you
entry, but it's their a lot of their favorites.
that's wild. If you would have showed me Army of Darkness first, I would have not watched any other movie in this franchise.
Yeah, that's,
Like
that's some of their favorites.
I don't like this movie's also on my number 6, and I don't like this movie because it's you watch the first 2 movies and you kind of think you know what you're getting. And then the next thing you know, you get to the third one, and I'm already annoyed because I'm seeing another redemption of the first movie. I already watched the fucking movie. I don't need to see it for the third time being played out. And now he's in
Hmm.
the past, and they got these goofy ass effects going on, and I'm just like, what the hell? I love the cool idea with the Deadites, like being different creatures and shit. Like I want us to bring that back. Like bats and like big, ugly, monstrous looking shit. Like bring that back. But like the movie overall is horrible. I don't I don't. I see why it sat on the shelf all those years until it came back.
Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't really resonate with me, especially coming off the first two. Like I I could live with the like horror comedy of the first two, and because we get a lot of those early like Sam Raimi type like moments, like things that will come like to fruition later in his career that we see in movies like Drag Me to Hell, Send Help, and stuff like that. Um, but this one, even though it is just called Army of Darkness, it's not even like Evil Dead 3. It's almost like a spinoff in a sense. It's still connected, and it's still the third movie in this franchise, and it just doesn't fit where I thought it should, where I thought things, which to each his own. It's just not for me personally.
What's in your fifth spot?
In my fifth spot, I would have to put the first Evil Dead, like the Evil Dead, the first one. Um,
The first Evil Dead?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I will put the first one in the fifth spot. I like once went back and did our rewatches of everything. I think I might have I think I cashed it if I'm not mistaken.
You
Well,
did.
yeah. So I still do like the movie, but as we've gotten further down the line with some of the newer ones, it's just kind of went further and further down the list. But I think, and this kind of gives away my third a little bit. I think the second one, and the way that it kind of um, goes about things, and Bruce Campbell's acting was a bit better. So this one like kind of falters for me, but I do still like a lot of the early elements that we got inside of this one. Um, Aside from the tree, we don't care about the tree.
Entry.
Um, yeah, we don't care about the tree that is sexually assaulting our movie characters. Um, But yeah, I don't think it just doesn't really resonate with me as much these days. Like when I first saw the first Evil Dead movie, like I really enjoyed it. But I'm kind of liking the direction that the franchise is going in now, as opposed to this one. I can definitely recognize that it's the reason that we're even here in the first place, and what um has come because of it. But just personal ranking wise, I think I would have to kind of leave it on the bottom end for myself.
And for me, my number fifth spot will be Evil Dead Burns. And not
Mm,
because and it's not because I don't like the movie. It's because I like the other three more. I like the other it's not because I don't like Evil Dead Burns, but it's because I enjoy the other four more. It's just like,
okay.
yeah. Like I enjoy it. It's just get more enjoyment out of the other four. And speaking of number four, for me, it is Evil Dead 2. I liked Evil Dead 2. My only thing with Evil Dead 2 is like I don't need you I already watched the first movie. I didn't need to re-see the first movie with a whole different actress, and then y'all dropped two of the characters that was in the fucking movie. And then y'all made it even weirder. But like once the actual like story for the second movie kicked in, I enjoyed it and I was down for the ride because listen, Ash was kicking ass entire movie up until he got sucked into the past. And the way it ended with him being in the past, that's the movie I was expecting when I hopped on Army of Darkness. And that's why I hate that movie even more. What about you? What's in your third spot? What about you? What's in your fourth spot?
In my fourth spot, I will put Evil Dead Burn. Um, I do, as you mentioned as well, I do like really like it. Um, and I think it's a good entry in the franchise. I personally like the direction and like the stylistic like choices in there, kind of like giving it a bit more gloomy sort of look, which made sense in conjunction with how they were going over a funeral and all that kind of stuff. So made sense in that context of it all. But uh, the ending, especially like with Alice versus Vecna, because that's what the husband looked like at the end. He looked like Vecna from Stranger Things. I mean, that sequence could have been a bit better, in my opinion. I also feel as though, given that this movie did revolve around a funeral, I think it could have used a couple more characters or family members to round out the Deadites. I think they could have had a lot more Deadites in here. Now, maybe I know this movie didn't have like the biggest budget, but I think that could have been a little more fun to have that. To just get some more things ongoing. Because one thing that I felt happened kind of early was the girlfriend of Joseph. I want to say her name was Thea. I think she got turned into a deadite, and I think she kind of died a little bit early. So that really only left us with you know the like four more family members and then Alice, who we knew was our girl. So I think if they had like three at maximum like four more family members there, like a cousin or two, an aunt or an uncle, like something like that. I think that could have made it a bit like a little bit more better, in my opinion, for how things were going off. But either way, I did still enjoy it, and it also gets points taken off for the post credit scene that features Ellie from Evil Dead Rise. Still, it's we we know from what the director said that basically was like a studio mandated thing, and he didn't even film that. Um, and it's like, why is that here? It didn't really make any sense, to be quite honest. Um, but yeah, it's my first slide. Not bad at all. I even cashed it during our episode. Um, and I'm gonna rewatch it sometime soon, whenever I can. Might go see it again at the movies with someone, or whenever it comes out on digital. I'll definitely be giving it a rewatch. But as far as ranking goes, it'll be at my number 4 spot for now.
Number three for me will be the original Evil Dead. I liked the movie. Um, it was I went into it expecting it to be full campy because that's the reputation that the Evil Dead franchise has based off Army of Darkness. So it was I like the intimate cabin and the woods feel. You know, they're just there for a getaway. I like that we see the girlfriend slowly just like I like how everyone was slowly becoming deadites, and then you could just see Ash like, okay, what the fuck's happening? And honestly, if I had no clue who Bruce Campbell was, I would have been surprised that he ended up being the final boy. I would have thought that he would have probably died towards the end at a sacrifice or some shit. So like knowing that he is the surviving character is actually what makes me enjoy this movie more. And oh, when she came when she was in that fucking cellar, like she was, there was a lot going on. I enjoyed that movie. But Tawan, what about you? What's in your thirds?
In my third slot, I'm going to put Evil Dead 2. Now, I will agree with Mark. The whole little recap element of it, I didn't really care for. But aside from that, I feel like out of all the movies, Evil Evil Dead 2 was my favorite Bruce Campbell performance out of all of them. Now, I know the issues that I did have with Army of Darkness had nothing to do with Bruce Campbell. He was always good. It was more so everything else surrounding the movie. But in this one, like he was so like funny with the, especially with the physical comedy throughout this one. Like he was like doing so much shit like just by himself on screen at points in time. Um, and it was just great. I think he was really good overall, and it kind of redeems the movie a bit more because the tertiary characters that we get later, like I mean, throughout it, like they I didn't really care for them per se, but he's just he's so charismatic here that it kind of carries the movie for me, and I enjoy that performance a lot, and think um, it just it just elevates it a good amount for me, and that'll be at my number 3 slot.
What's in your number two slot?
Evil Dead Rise is my number 2. Um, I just love this one. Like I really just love this movie. It's like a very fun rewatch, and I think that's one thing as well that I will have to see upon a rewatch of Evil Dead Burn. But I've watched Evil Dead Rise like I probably see like 10 plus times at this point, and I can still watch it a couple more. Like it's a fun like rewatch. Like each time I've like watched it again. Um, the moving the whole like Necronomicon to like an apartment complex in the city, like while we weren't like outside like on out in the town, like the change of scenery coming from the first three and then the 2013 one into like this one, being a little more colorful. um we focusing on like a family now. It definitely made a difference for what was ongoing, and I think her name is Alyssa Sutherland, who played the like Ellie or our main Deadite. She's so good here. Like she sells it in every scene that she's in. Her physicality was like on point. Like I've seen like a lot of behind the scenes stuff from this, and she was doing a lot of her like own kind of like stunts and stuff like that. Like anything that she was able to do, like within reason for her character, like she was doing it herself, and she did such a good job with it. Um, the rest of like the cast was really good. Like it little like the little deadite bits that they had in here were so funny. The cheese grater, for example, like that was that was crazy. That still is crazy to me. And yeah, I think Lee Cronin, the director, he did a great job, like bringing it back. Movie was so good that HBO was like, and Warner Bros. Was like, wait a minute, we can make money off this and not just slap it on fucking HBO Max, and they did.
And they were smart producer because Evil Dead Rise is also my second spot because that movie was just it was so good. It was I wasn't prepared for how good it was and how like creepy and entertaining the mom deadite was, and watching the family like you slowly watch this mom become a deadite, and then one of her kids become a deadite, then the other kid becomes a deadite, and just it was so much happening. And I loved it. It looked amazing. I love how that movie looks. I love the cinematography on it. Like it's a good movie. That's why it's in my number two spot. But Tawan, can you tell them why the Evil Dead remake is at our number one?
I mean, look at the material. It was it, like this is how you do like a remake reboot of a franchise. It is crazy that Fede Alvarez like struck twice. He did this and Alien Romulus. Like he got the sauce. Um, but this movie, I think it works so good because I think it works so good because of how different it is coming off of the original like trilogy that we got, and the tone is immediately like more darker. Like we get that cold open at the beginning with the daughter, like the dad like setting the daughter on fire and then her turning into the deadite. Um, we see kind of Mia unfolding as she's like detoxing, and everything is just like so. It's kind of so like building up to a boiling point, and then you introduce the fucking deadites, and now we got a whole other situation going on because it's already like frantic because and like stress inducing because these their friend group are trying to like help their friend to kick this addiction, and she is going through it, having withdrawals, all that stuff, and then now we're bringing the fucking demon into it in the Book of the Dead because one of the friends decides he wants to read a book that was bounded in leather. I mean, that was bounded by fucking barbed wire and had inscriptions on it that said, "Don't read this." And that's why he got turned into Wile E. Coyote and was getting used like a pincushion throughout the movie. Um, but it's so good. Like the gore in this one, great. Practical effects were on point throughout the movie. Mia's whole like character arc and basically her having to be reborn in order to defeat herself, like at the end, perfect. Like it was just everything came together so good for here that like it doesn't it's yes, it's an Evil Dead movie, but it's his own thing, and a lot of people can learn from that.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I've ever put a remake at number one. That's how good this is. Like it there are reasons why I don't like remake. The Psycho remake being one of them. It's a shot for shot remake, just with modern actors in fucking color. And then you have the Friday the 13th remake, which took a bunch of elements they thought made a good Jason movie and then just threw it into shit and was like, okay, we're gonna do this. And it felt like too much. And you had that Rob Zombie Halloween, which just took the source material, added an extra 30 minutes at the beginning, and then just made the source material like it didn't do it right. But this movie did it right. Like it took the elements and the situation. It gave you a similar situation, similar number of characters in a fucking cabin in the woods with the book. That's what happened the first time. I don't know. It just works with this movie. Like it's giving us what we already saw, but making it deeper and making it better. Because Ash was there with his sister in the first movie, but like he barely cared. Like if it wasn't in the dialogue what they were siblings, I would have not known. But in the sequel, you're like, okay, he's here. I mean, in the remake, he's there trying to help save his sister. They're all there because they love her, and then one by one, they become deadites. And it was just like, and it made it all the much better when she survived at the end. Like it's a good movie. Like, I thought I was gonna hate it, and I walked out like, damn, this might be the best movie of the franchise. And for me, it is. That's why it's at number one.
Yes, ma'am.
But for a little recap, Tuan from 6 to 1, he has Army of Darkness at 6, Evil Dead at 5, Evil Dead Burns at 4, Evil Dead 2 at 3, Evil Dead Rise at 2, and Evil Dead the remake at number 1. And for me, I also have 6 for being Army of Darkness. At number 5, I have Evil Dead Burns. At 4, I have Evil Dead 2. 3, I have the original Evil Dead. At 2, I have Evil Dead Rise. And at 1, I have Evil Dead Remake. That is our ranking list. Next week, we kick off brand new franchise, our summer slash entering fall franchise retrospective. We have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Now, you've only seen like 2 or 3 of these movies, right?
I've only seen the like first one, the original, the remake, like 2006 or 5 remake, and then the most recent like reboot, requel, remake that came out on Netflix a couple years back.
Be prepared to meet a different Leatherface every single movie. But that journey starts next week. Until then, good night.
If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elian Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a Letter to Media production.
Should we do an intro?